There are a lot of ETFs that you can invest your money, but here are the top three that you can invest your money for long term, for growth, and also some income. But here's the question: you want to invest only in one ETF, so which one should you pick? So in this video today, I'm going to compare these top three, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly which ETF to invest. And these ETFs are SCHB, which is Schwab Strategic Trust US Broad Market ETF. There's a VOO, which is Vanguard S&P 500, and there's a QQQ, which is Invesco Nasdaq 100. So overview of these ETFs. First of all, the lowest price so far is a Schwab. This is only $60. It's the last price of today. But we look at the VOO, which is Vanguard S&P 500. It is $479. So for a lot of people might find this a lot of money. They don't have that much money to invest. So let's say, for example, you only have $1,000. You can only buy 2 shares for this one. But if this one, you're gonna have a lot of more shares, right? More than 12 shares. When it comes to this one, Invesco QQQ, pretty much the same thing, is $439. But there is also QQQ M, which has lower price. If we look at the asset class, they're all equity. If we look at the benchmark, so where they track their index, so this one is Dow Jones US Broad Index Market, which is a Schwab. When it comes to VOO, which is S&P 500, and the QQQ, of course, it tracks the Nasdaq 100. These are the top 100 companies, or top 100 tech companies, that including, of course, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, etc. But most of these companies will see down. They are pretty much in all of them except the Schwab. But there are a lot of overlap between VOO and the QQQ. Net asset value, Schwab has only 28 billion. This one has a 460 billion, and then Invesco QQQ has about 262 billion. But I think this number here is a little bit outdated. We can look at the exact number as of today. So if we start with the Schwab, we can see Schwab has about 29 billion. VOO has about 1.2 trillion on asset under management. Of course, this is one of the biggest ETFs, right? If we look at the QQQ, has about 284 billion. So when it comes to asset under management, of course, VOO from Vanguard is a top dog. Now let's look at, I like to look at all of them together here because it's easier that way to compare them. But some information, of course, we can see here will go on individually like this, right? So now if we go to management fee, Schwab has only 0.03, very low, and VOO and QQQ both have 0.2. It's very cheap. Let's look at other things here. We can look at the information. Let me just open all of them, and then we can go one by one. So we're going to look at other metric here, the sponsors of these ETFs. So the sponsor is a name suggests. Of course, this one is from Charlie Schwab, and VOO is sponsored by or is managed by Vanguard, and you all might know Vanguard, which is the founder Jack Bogle, and of course this one is Invesco, which is QQQ. So, and QQQ, of course, one of the most popular traded ETFs at all time. 52-week range, all of them, they've been performing really well. But if you look at the 52-week range of Schwab is between 47 to 65. S&P 500 VOO about 375 to 519. And QQQ has ranged between 342 to 503. That's the data as of just last year. But we look at if we go to on the live chart, this is from Yahoo Finance, we can see the range here is from pretty much the same, but the difference is and this is a live chart as of today. We'll look at the VOO VOO actually has range between 375 to 519, When it comes to QQQ, has ranged between 342 to 503. So it's pretty the same as from this website here. Now we look at the performance and distribution. Here we look at distribution yield. We can see anything on that, but I can give you distribution yield. So Schwab distribution yield as of today is 1.26. And then VOO, it is 1.31, and QQQ is 0.61. Remember, the yields are very little because these are designed for growth, not for an income. So that's why the yield is very low. But we look at the performance. Year to date, Schwab has returned about 15%. VOO has returned about 16%, and Invesco QQQ has returned about 15%. So they're pretty almost similar when it's come to 10-year. Let's go all the way to 10-year period. So 10-year period, of course, the NASDAQ 100, which is a QQQ, has returned the most, has about 1838. This is annual return, guys. This is not like the whole 5 or 10 years. This is annual return. So the QQQ has returned 18, even though the yield is only 0.61. Remember, the yield is very low, but your return within 10-year period, you'd get annual return of 1836. The S&P 500 would only give you about 13.12, and Schwab has returned about 14.50. So the winner here when it comes to return is QQQ, and the second one is Schwab, and the third is VOO. What else? Top 10 stocks they invest in. They have Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta Platform, Alphabet, Berkshire Hathaway, Eli Lilly, Broadcom, Apple, Amazon, Meta Platform, Alphabet. You can see they are pretty much overlapping on each other, right? They're all pretty much the same, except of course some stock, for example, QQQ has Costco, and of course you're gonna find this Costco on S&P 500, but the only difference is that maybe it might be lower in terms of overall percentage of how much they invest in the exposure. But end of the day, they all have pretty much the same top stocks, but the top as of today, Apple is the top on QQQ, and Microsoft is the top on the VOO, and then Apple is top on the Schwab. So that's a main those are the main data we have for these ETFs. So if you're an investor and you want to pick which one should you go with, the first thing I would look is MER. We can see the MER, they are pretty almost similar. The other thing I'm going to look is the yield. So as for yields, we can see VOO pay about 131, which is the highest, and then followed by the Schwab ETF, which is 1.26, and distribution yield for QQQ is only 0.61. So now I'm going to look at the data of performance because I'm investing for growth. So the first ETF I'm going to look is which ETF has performed well. Now, if we look at the ETF that has performed well or the most within 3 years, 5 years, a QQQ is the best, has performed about 18% annual return. So you want to grow your money more. But if we look at the stability, so you're an investor who cannot stand the volatility, then Schwab will be the perfect ETF for you, because this one is, as you can see, it does follow the Dow Jones, which has a little bit lower volatility as compared to NASDAQ. So for volatility, least volatile is the SCHB, and then second one will be VOO, and then the one has the highest volatility will be QQQ. So for me, when you look at performance and exposure and the bigger asset under management, they all pretty much have over $1 billion. So that's like a lot of money. So for me, end of the day, I think I really, really, really like QQQ because it has given me more money than any of them. So that will be my first choice, and the second choice will be Schwab, and the third choice will be VOO. So that's all I have for today for these ETFs. If you have any question, you want me to compare any other type of ETFs, make sure you leave a comment on below. And if you haven't subscribed, just make sure you subscribe so you don't miss this type of update. And if you like this video, smash the like button. Till we meet again next video, which is coming very soon. Bye bye.